Hello again everyone and welcome back to another video. My name's Derailious and today we're going to be going over what you can do right now to prepare for the greenhouse update which is currently on the alpha network. Make sure to like and subscribe, use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and without any further ado, let's get started. Starting off today, I wanted to begin by going over some of the things that I think you should either stockpile or at the very least not spend a lot of in the next few weeks before the release of the greenhouse. The first thing I want to mention here is copper. Copper is going to be used a lot in this new update to pick up not only all of the upgraded watering cans, but some of the new chips and many other additional items as well. If you don't have all the farming tools, you can actually use copper to pick up pretty much all of the base ones, as well as the two new ones you will need, the Wild Rose Hoe and the Eclipse Hoe. So make sure you have at least saved up a little bit of copper. It will absolutely be needed. Another thing I wanted to mention here is the compost. You do want quite a bit of it. The reason why is that compost is utilized in the growth speed upgrades section of the greenhouse upgrades, as well as your plant yield upgrades. So if you want to, make sure to pick up a ton of compost and a bunch of compost bundles, or at the very least, use this time to stockpile them. When it comes to copper specifically though, I wanted to bring up a couple things because of the new mutation system giving you copper for when you turn in mutations, and the fact that when you pick up something like a crop shot chip, for example, and the fact that you can actually sell those to NPC for coins, this is basically a direct conversion, if not the most efficient, of copper to coins. Also, another thing to note is it's going to be way easier to get copper from my understanding. Not only are there going to be a ton of new visitors, but there's also all of the new methods as well as the greenhouse itself. So copper won't be that terrible from my understanding, but you still might want to stockpile at least a little bit of it. For this next section, I wanted to go into some of the actual requirements in order to unlock the greenhouse, with the main one being Garden Level 7. So if you have not unlocked Garden Level 7, this is the biggest thing to take away from this video. Make sure you get it over the coming week or so. In order to actually access it, you'll need to get the Carpenter NPC, who will arrive at your garden pretty quickly after. It shouldn't take too long, and you'll need to hand him whatever crops he asks for. And you'll also need a stack of enchanted oak logs, as well as 2 stacks of enchanted sand in order to get the greenhouse built. So make sure you have Garden Level 7 and you have those items as well. Something I do want to say though is if you want to interact with the crop analyzer pretty quickly after the release of this update, you will need to have done Beth's questline. Now in order to do the questline, Beth needs to visit you at least 3 times. You can deny whatever she's requesting, it doesn't matter, you can accept it or deny it, but you need to have her visit you at least 3 times. The 3rd time she visits you, she will tell you to go to the Mushroom Desert and dig at certain coordinates. This is very important because it allows you to access Jake's lab. The reason why this is all relevant is because the crop analyzer is located in a deeper part of Jake's lab. So the 3rd time she visits you, she'll tell you to head over to these coordinates over here, right here in the glowing mushroom cave. I'll hit F3, so there we go. You dig down this dirt, and then you'll go down here. Then you'll have to speak to Beth a 4th time. She'll visit your garden pretty quickly after that. And once that's done, you'll have a final section here where you get Jake's plushie and all of that. But the reason why this is relevant is because once this update releases, Beth will visit you again, and you'll be able to head over here, which is where the crop analyzer actually is, where you can access all of your mutations that you turn in, and where you get a bunch of rewards, which are extremely important for this update. Something else you can do if you want to is manually farm a few crops to build up some additional sawdust. Now sawdust, if you don't already know, is basically a new powder-like substance that you can use to upgrade your farming chips, and these are extremely strong as you can see. So if you want to manually farm, it will be retroactive, it will take into account your progress. They're also nerfing crop milestones quite a bit. I believe around milestone 32 will be where the max is. Obviously that'll be transported over to milestone 46. 32 is the new 46, effectively. Something else you could possibly do, but might not necessarily be worth it, is unlock the garden time modification system if you don't already have it. Now, if you're an Iron Man player and you don't have access to sunflowers already, you won't be able to do this because right now sunflowers are effectively unobtainable. Also, people are manipulating the hell out of sunflowers, so it might not be worth it at all, but in order to do that, all you'll really need is a day saver, which is the recipe of glass, some nether quartz, and some sunflowers, as well as the night saver. You'll need 1 copy of each, and this one is glass, more nether quartz, and some brown mushroom. It really is a shame that the day saver is currently not easily accessible on main, but this is something you're going to want to do because of the system where day farming gets you sunflowers and night farming gets you moonflowers. Both of those are extremely relevant, and they will have contests associated with them, as well as leveling up things like the Eclipse Hoe, so it's going to be important to be able to change the day to night or vice versa. Something else you can potentially do is stockpile a few in-game years worth of farming contests to be picked up the moment the update releases, because of the new system where you can pick up overclockers. Overclockers are basically items that you can put on any sort of farming tool to raise the level cap of that tool by 1 up to a maximum of 10 times, and they do drop from Jacob's contests. I'm not 100% certain if the contest will reward them in a retroactive manner, but it's worth a shot. Something else you may want to do is actually pick up a few pest traps. Now, the main reason for this is because there are new pests associated with this update that are extremely relevant for picking up the new crops. In fact, the dragonfly and the firefly are the main ways of getting the sunflowers and the moonflowers, as well as the praying mantis being a great way to get the wild roses. So make sure, if you have not already interacted with pest hunting, that you do so. It is very, very much recommended. Taking a look at the pest hunter's wares specifically, you can see the mouse trap as well as the pest trap here. So make sure you're actually interacting with these systems. They are extremely important and relevant for this update. For this last segment, I wanted to go over elitebot.dev. This is basically a community-made and updated resource that allows you to put in your profile and get a bunch of relevant information, including what you can do to improve your farming fortune. I'll have this link down below, but if it lags, I do apologize. Sometimes that can just happen if a bunch of people go there at once. But this is a great resource to take a look at your armor pieces and figure out maybe I'm missing this, maybe I'm missing that, so on and so forth. There are a lot of relevant pieces of info both here and in the Elite Skyblock Farmers Discord. I will have both of those linked down below. Being completely honest with you, well, the greenhouse is going to change farming a lot. It's not really the type of update that's going to require a ton of resources be gathered and stockpiled, because much of it is already built into the update itself or takes advantage of pre-existing systems. But just by stockpiling a few things, I think you'll be able to get ahead of the competition and keep up with the updates. At the end of the day though, my name's Derailious. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.